Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about what I feed to my cockatiels. There are different schools of thought about cockatiel alimentation and I can't cover everything, so I will just talk about what I feed to my birds. Because, for example, some people prefer to feed their birds with an homemade diet. And while I think that a well-studied homemade diet is perfect and probably the best diet possible, it's very hard to do it properly. It takes a lot of time, you have to study all the ingredients, and you have to make sure that what you offer to your birds doesn't have any deficiencies in the nutrients. So what I like to do is to rely on good quality industrial food, and in particular pellets. I think pellets are very handy because what you have to do is open the box and fill the feeders. But I also don't think cockatiels should only eat pellets. Pellets are boring to eat, and cockatiels need to have fun while eating. They need to use their brain, their beak, and this is the reason why I also provide a good amount of seeds every day, or almost every day. Particularly in the evening, I always place some seeds in the feeders after they ate their pellets, so they also can have some fun while eating. And of course, fresh food. I give a lot of fresh food. I give salad, rocket salad, zucchini or carrots, broccoli. Fruits, I always try to offer fruits, but my cockatiels don't like fruits so much, they prefer veggies. About fresh foods, my cockatiels love to eat wild ears I can find around the area. I made a video a year or two ago about what ears I feed to my cockatiels, feel free to check it. So my diet is mostly pellets, seeds and fresh food. About pellets, the first thing to check is of course quality. You want to read the ingredients and make sure they are quality ingredients. But beyond these, you also want to check the size of the pellets, because if they are too big, the cockatiels will waste a lot of them as they try to eat them. And the majority of the pellets will fly away as they crunch it with their beak, and you don't want to waste these pellets as they are quite expensive, to be honest. So a thing to look for is pellets of a small size. I like to feed pellets in the morning and then leave them with pellets and veggies for all of the day, and in the evening I remove the pellets and give some seeds. As pellets are balanced and contain all of the nutrients they need, I don't have the fear of my birds with some deficiencies in their alimentation. I can just feed the veggies I've got in the fridge and be good, because I already know that in the pellets there's everything they need. There are different brands with food coloring or without food coloring. Normally I prefer pellets without food colors, but if they are approved colors and the birds like the pellets and the ingredients are okay, I'm not so rigid after all. These green pellets are so small that the size is just perfect. They don't waste any of it while the ingredients are okay. So even if they are colored, I give some of them sometimes. But of course, that's up to you. There's a huge quantity of brands and you just have to look for them by yourself and make your choice. About seeds, I try to look for a mix that doesn't have too much sunflower, and then I just give it like that. I don't remove all of the sunflower seeds. Some of the seed mixes may have a lot of sunflower seeds. In that case I'd remove some, but not everyone, because I still think that some seed of sunflower is okay for them. Then, depending on the period, if it's cold, or if they are going to mate and lay eggs, or if they are molting, I can make variations. For example, in winter I give more seeds and a bit less pellets, because seeds are more caloric and they need more energy because it's cold. Also, I noticed that the crop empties faster when they eat pellets, and the seeds stay in the crop longer. So when nights are long and cold, I prefer to feed more seeds in the evening so that their crop stays full longer and they can get to the morning with something in their belly. And then in the morning I give pellets because they are easily assimilable and they can get energy faster. So I also try to find pellets with more fat, more proteins, and I give them in winter and when they are going to lay eggs. And in summer and when they are not mating, I give less caloric pellets and less seeds in general. I mean, I give a lot of pellets, but not caloric pellets, and I reduce the amount of seeds. So the majority of their diet is made of pellets, and in the evening it's either me going inside their cage and feeding them some seeds from my hands, or I just place some seeds in their feeders. About veggies, I don't have to study the composition so much to make sure that they're not missing anything because they are already eating pellets, so I just feed them what I've got in the fridge. There are lists in the internet about what veggies they can and can't eat, so you can just Google it up. My cockatiels really love chicory and rocket salad and carrots. They like apple, they like jujubes, but other fruits not so much. They prefer veggies. And ears. Most of the veggies I feed are raw except for zucchini. Zucchini I give them either raw or boiled. They eat them either ways. And green beans, they like boiled green beans. And also in the cold days of winter, and when I see them mating and I expect them to lay eggs, I offer them boiled egg. Let's say half an egg for a couple, and not every day, let's say twice a week, and only for these periods of the year. There's also another kind of pellets I'm using a lot, and these pellets are dry food, of course, but you have to place them in a bowl and add water, and the pellets will absorb water and grow in size, become soft. And these kind of pellets are usually more rich regarding proteins, fats, and nutrients, and I use them a lot when it's cold in the morning, and I use them for cockatiels that are going to lay eggs or that are laying eggs. And I also use them when I have molting birds to provide more nutrients for the molt. And in other conditions I just provide them less frequently because they are a bit too much, but I still keep feeding them 1 time or 2 times a week. Once the water is absorbed, you have to place some kind of food in powder to help separate the pellets, and I use egg food like this, and then you have to gently mix before feeding the birds. So as you see, I am a big fan of industrial food, good quality industrial food, of course. And while I see a lot of people relying on handmade food, and I think it's a good idea if you have time and you have the dedication to do it right, it's more comfortable to use good quality industrial food because it saves a lot of time. So it's up to you. This is how I do it, but you can find other people out there doing things differently and still having great results. About sprouted seeds, since many of you asked me about sprouted seeds, even that I think they are great if you want to make them, but if you feed pellets and veggies, I don't think they are necessary. You can do it, and especially if you use a handmade diet, sprouted seeds are a very good choice. But it takes time and you have to do it right because molds are behind the corner. So if you already are feeding pellets and veggies, I really don't see the need for sprouted seeds. Well, it's still another food and the birds will have fun eating them, so yes, why not, but it's not necessary. That's just it. Feel free to share in the comments if you feed your birds differently or if you have recipes for homemade foods. And that's it. I think I said everything about what I feed to my cockatiels. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. And see you soon in the next videos.